Hey, there we are. I tried to do this earlier, but it wasn't working out. So I'm going to try this one more time. I think I was on a little bit too early for this. Yeah, it's been a heck of a 24 hours, people. Let me just set up the chat in the background here. I'm going to make this quick and to the point. We'll see if anybody wants to come in for this. It's not something that's easy to talk about. I'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll see if it's going to shake down. Yeah, what a wild 24 hours it's been, everybody. This one really hurts my heart. Cat's in the house. Welcome in. Kathy X50, hello. Yeah, I was just saying I tried this earlier and it wasn't working out. Hobble one, Pauline. This is a tough one. Hey, July. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. You know, I'm going to try to sound a little bit more up than I did last night. I did a video late last night on this, a live, but I took it down right afterwards because I just sounded too like, ugh, like this one hurts my heart. Let me explain what's going on. First of all, I'm April Davis, PI. I'm a licensed California private investigator in Los Angeles, California, and someone who's very near and dear to my heart. Perez Hilton, the celebrity blogger, he went through a very horrific situation last night. If you guys haven't heard about it, I'm sure you have, unless you're living under a rock. There was tragedy last night in Miami, and I've never met Perez in person, but we have gone live several times, not on my channel, but on some of his social media videos, like Facebook and Instagram. It's been a few years, but we've been live several times, and it went so well that he actually said, maybe we should do this every week. But I was like, I had, my plate full with, everything that's happened in my life the last few years. And I've been following this guy for years. I remember when he had the old website 666, I think it was, before he had perezhilton.com and, all the other websites and YouTube channels. And I've been following him at least since he's had his kids, if not before he had his kids. I know that prior to him having kids, back before I was following him, he was quite a controversial person. And I don't want to get political or get into too much personal information, but he's a very out gay man. And I guess when he first became a celebrity and he was well known as being a vlogger or a blogger, I guess he had a tendency to out like famous people, and he got a really bad reputation in the industry when he did that. And I didn't even know who he was like back then. I've kind of known him more closer to the point of him like having children. And yes, those are his biological kids. They were all born via surrogate. There's 3 of them. There's Mario the third, sweet little Mia, and gorgeous little Maite. They range in age from 13 to 8. Now, I don't know how to word this. Everybody, 34 people in the room, there's 4 thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. I want this video to get out there. This isn't about me. This is about Perez. And I heard about this last night. I was actually going through the comments on one of the Jackie videos. By the way, two of the Jackie videos that I have on my channel and under the video tab have made it to the top 100 YouTube hype videos for the week. So I'm just like mind blown. Thank you. Please continue to watch those. But this is near and dear to me because, like I said, I've gone live with this man and I've seen the transformation from what he used to be before I knew who he was to what he has become today. And if you guys follow him, you know that he had a lot of physical medical issues earlier this year in Las Vegas where he almost died twice. He was hospitalized. And when he recovered from that, at least it was believed that he was recovered, he decided to very quickly list his house for sale in Las Vegas. I think it's worth like 1.5 million or something. He'd only lived there for 3 years, and that he was moving back to Miami. And I don't know, I'm not him. I can't walk in his shoes, but that set off some alarm bells for me, because I know that he has a lot of bad memories from Miami, but he was, he kind of became a different person when he came out of these medical emergencies that he suffered earlier this year, including sepsis. And sepsis, that can mess with your mind. That can cause sepsis, psychosis, cognitive issues. Something just seemed to be off with him. He became very religious. I don't want to use the word, Jesus freak, because, I'm a Christian myself, but he just kind of went off the deep end with all of that. And I understand he was so grateful to be alive, and, because he's the only parent. He's a single parent for his 3 children, and he takes care of them. He takes care of his mother. He employs his sister, Barbara, who lives out here in Los Angeles. He's been a wonderful father. He's become a much better human being since he became a father. But, all HELL last night broke loose in Miami. I don't know exactly what caused this psychotic episode that he had. I did not see it. I do have a TikTok account, but I'm not on there very often. I was actually working on my YouTube when this all broke, and one of my channel members actually sent me a message by email saying that she lives in that neighborhood or next to that neighborhood, and she went to the store, came back. There were all these fire trucks and ambulances and police cars and the SWAT team, and she didn't know what was going on. And someone said, "Oh, it's Perez Hilton. It's Perez Hilton." And she said, I didn't know he even lived in Miami until I saw this on your channel a couple of months ago, because it was sometime this past the current summer, 2026, that he relocated. And I'll get to the comments in just a minute, but she sent me an email and I didn't see it, not right away. And it's probably a good thing, because while I was working on my YouTube and I was trying to go through over 500 comments on the latest Jackie video, not including today's video, which just came out, but the one before, there were these pop-ups that were coming on my phone saying something had happened to Perez Hilton in Miami. And then I started looking at my emails and I was like, oh my God. And by the time I knew about it, he had already been deemed recovered by the police. I don't want to use the word safe, but they had managed to get him out of his house and put him in an ambulance, and they were transporting him to a hospital. It's bad, people. I didn't see it. Other people were saying, don't see it. Don't look at it. TikTok has already taken it down. They've closed his account. But there are snippets. There are clips that are showing up on different social media platforms. And I had not intended to go down that rabbit hole. But I did. And I did see one clip. It must have been 20, 30 seconds. And it changed me, probably for the rest of my life. And if just one person that's watching this video now can take my advice, don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't go to, Threads or Twitter, known as X now. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't look for those clips. You don't, for your own physical and mental health, you don't want to ever see what I saw last night. And I only saw a small snippet of what happened. Apparently this live went on for 34 minutes before TikTok took it down. And I don't know how they found out where he was, where he lived. He was in the house alone. His mom and his kids weren't there. I do know he said before he moved that they were going to live in a rental for a year before they would buy a permanent home. So I don't know if it's just a rental house or if it's an Airbnb. I know what neighborhood it is in now in Miami. I'm not going to say it here, but you can research it. It's all over the internet. I know which hospital he's currently in, or at least as of last night. I'm not going to mention the name of that either. Like I said, I've never met the man, but I feel like I know him because we've done lives together. We've met online, but where we've talked to each other, and we've been on the same videos together. We were also actually in a pilot called Tori and Dean in Love, and I didn't know that I even made the cut of that pilot until a couple years ago. And we were there the same day at the same time, or we were there the same day, but I don't know if we were in the house at the same time. So I thought, oh, next time I talk to Perez, I'm going to mention that, like, hey, Perez, I was in the same pilot, Tori and Dean, and I'm not a professional actor as he is. But that's kind of cool. Let me go through the comments really quick. And I appreciate you guys coming in. Saraf, or no, not Saraf. Excuse me. Safari. Is it Safarial? One. Welcome in. Hubble one. Does he have a husband? No. Bonnie Johnson gives a thumbs up. Thank you for coming, Bonnie. Hubble one said he was on life support with sepsis. Oh, yourself. Yeah, that's a very bad thing. I'm glad you're still here. Bonnie Johnson said it's very tough having sepsis. Yeah, there was a nurse that came on to another YouTube channel last night who called in and said that, when you suffer sepsis like that and you're in a hospital for a long time, you can suffer from sepsis psychosis. I know because I've never had sepsis, but because of the side effects of my cancer, I've been in the hospital 27 times, and there is something called hospital psychosis. And that's a real thing where you just you can't deal with it anymore. But I've come out, strong. I'm still standing. But yeah, to have sepsis, most people die from that. Andy, hi, Mom, how are you? I'm not your mom, but I'm doing okay. I'm sad today though. I am a little sad. Actually, I'm a lot sad because I'm worried about those sweet children, and I know that what happened last night, that he obviously wasn't in his right mind. I can't really go into the details here. You can look it up on the internet. It's everywhere. It's like the biggest story in the country right now, as far as, entertainment. And it's not entertainment, but, he is in the entertainment world. So, yeah. July says she didn't see it either. Hello, Kathy Doherty. Hey, Connie. I see you were one of the people that came in last night. I did take that video down. But thank you for sending that membership last night. It does count, but I just afterwards I had to take it down. I was just too upset. Jamie James, you heard about it today. Yes, it's very tragic. Sepsis feels like a Hellraiser movie. That's what I hear. Let's see. Kathy, we're talking about Perez Hilton. No, Jamie James, it was not a PR stunt. Hubble one says he's still psychologically effed up by it. Yeah, it's bad. I'm still affected from when my heart episodes happened, and there was a lack of oxygen that was getting to my brain completely. But I'm okay. I'm not as sharp as I used to be, but I'm able to do this and take care of myself for now. Hey, Kelsers. Yeah, I did go live last night, Kelsers, but I ended up deleting that video. Yeah, Jamie, don't look. Just don't look. TikTok is a Roman circus. Yeah. I have an account, but I'm hardly ever on there. And I'm glad I wasn't on there last night. Cats in the house. Clearly a cry for help. If you are in need of someone to talk to, reach out to a friend or family. You are not alone. Exactly. That's a very good point. Cats in the house. Yeah, he had a complete mental breakdown last night, Peggy, and it was live on TikTok, and it involved a weapon and a lot of blood. And that's all I'm going to say. Let's see. Hubble one says, luckily that he didn't lose his arms and legs. Yeah, it's really bad. I knew a PI friend that went into sepsis, and he was in a coma for quite some time. Jay said grandmother-in-law had it. His mama heard she was in her 70s. Is that correct? That is correct. Yes. Everybody calls her Mama Perez. It feels like a burning crucifixion. Oh my God. Done. They took the video down of Perez graphic nature while reporters are reporting it. The graphic videos are taken down. I hope all of them are taken down, because a lot of people, I guess, screenshotted it and made video clips. Connie says, I've had sepsis twice and it was really a struggle. At one point, my organs were shutting down. Absolutely. You're blessed to be here, Connie, and I'm blessed to know you. Roxanne Rock says, pray for him and rebuke the evil that's attacking him. Very sad. His account is down as well. Yeah, his TikTok account is down, but his other accounts apparently are still up and running. And we're going to talk about that because his family made a statement on his main site today. Pablo One says, I was on heavy narcotic pain meds daily for 22 years, no chemicals, powder boost since 1999. Good for you. Hello, Susan. I put a prayer on my Facebook last night. Thank you, Connie, for doing that. For once, a topic I know well. I'm sorry you know that topic well. I hope I never have to go through something like that. I've been through enough. Oh my gosh. But let me just read the statement from his family. This is the latest. We are talking about Perez Hilton and the current situation. Many of you have reached out with concern for Perez, and we are incredibly grateful for the overwhelming outpouring of love, support, and prayers. We can confirm that Perez is receiving medical care, and our family's focus right now is on his well-being. We kindly ask that you respect Perez's privacy as well as the privacy of his family during this difficult time. If and when we are able to share any updates, we will do so with everyone as soon as we can. Thank you for your compassion, understanding, and continued support. The Perez Hilton team and family. Yeah, his agency was actually trying to reach him last night, and his talent agency, and they couldn't even get through. It was really bad. And I've heard also some information that even his family, his own family, is having some hard times, or they're having a difficult time getting current, up-to-date information because there's so many people contacting the hospital. So they're having to work that out. Hobble One says, but now at 68, I'm in great shape and very active. Good for you. I wish I could be very active. I'm still trying to get there. Roxanne Ruck says, Jesus is a healer. You will get through this. Oh, this is terrible. I didn't hear about this. Sending lots of prayers. Yeah. If there's one thing that anybody watching this can get from this, please don't do what I did last night, because I said I wasn't going to do it, and then I did. Because I feel like I know the guy. Even though we never met face-to-face, in person, where I could reach out and hug him. We have been together on several of his, or a couple. It was probably 2, 3, 4 live videos together, but on his social media, not mine. And, I consider him a friend. And I know all the negative stuff about him, years ago before I knew him. And, he's just not that guy anymore. If he was still that guy, I wouldn't have a care in the world. And, most people are being supportive. But there are some people that still hold grudges from the past for what he's done in the past to certain communities. And, which is shocking because, everybody knows he's an out gay man. And there were some issues in the beginning of his career with outing other people without their permission. And that's just, I'm not in that community, but I am an ally. I'm very supportive, and that's not a cool thing to do. And that's kind of a schmucky thing to do. And usually when people do things like that, or they're trolling, or you get negative comments in a YouTube video, it's just people that they don't have a life and they're very unhappy. But he did find happiness, and he did, have his 3 children via surrogates, and he was a changed man. And that's when I got to know Perez. And trust me, he's a good dude. He's a great dad. But this is going to have life-lasting repercussions. It's probably going to ruin his career. And he supports not only himself, but his mother and his 3 kids and his sister. He's probably, or could possibly, lose custody of his kids. I mean, he's going to have to be more than just a 72-hour hold, in my opinion. In California, it's called being put on a 5150 hold. In Florida, there's something called the Baker Act. I had to look it up, but it's basically the same thing as a California 5150 hold is 72 hours. But a doctor or a nurse or someone like a police officer, somebody in law enforcement, can request through a judge that it can be extended, and it can be extended up to 6 months. and not voluntarily, but involuntarily, they could say, you know what, he's not going anywhere. And after what I saw last night, unless he just gets transferred to, a more specialized facility, I don't think he's going anywhere. And, my heart is like, I don't want to get emotional here, but my heart is breaking for those kids. I mean, my heart is breaking for Perez too, because I know this isn't the man that he is. And this was a psychotic breakdown to the fullest. It's the worst thing, one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. There are a lot of clips out there on X. Do not watch any of them. I mean, you can if you want to, but you'll never be the same, especially if you've ever met him or you've gone live with him. You'll never be the same if you see those clips. For your own mental health, to be able to sleep at night, do not watch those clips, because I cannot erase that from my mind, what I saw. And I saw, like, when he was in the house and the police pulled up and he was looking out the window, because it was being filmed, it was live. And he was like, oh, F, the cops are here, maybe they'll kill me or something like that. I don't want to go into graphic details, because I don't want to get this video taken down. I want to help people. I want to say, pray for Perez. May he have a full recovery. Pray for those kids. They've already been uprooted yet again. He's been from Miami to New York to LA, back to New York, back to LA to, it just goes back and forth to Vegas and now Miami. And those kids are just going round and round and round. And, they're just trying to get settled in their new home. And, they probably started school this week or were about to start school. And their lives are right now in total ruin, because the only person they have besides their grandmother and their Aunt Barbara, besides extended family, they just have him. That's all they have. I don't think at their ages that they have been allowed to know their biological mothers that carried them. And by the way, the surrogates that carried them are not the women that provided the egg. There is a egg donor, and this is public information. He did have an egg donor that provided the eggs for all three, and then through in vitro fertilization, he used 3 different surrogate women that were in 3 different states, and those women are they're not the bio mothers, but they're the surrogates. The bio mom is one and the same person. That's a different person. Apparently obviously he knows who it is, but this is a road that they are going to cross when those kids are of age. But right now they're minors. They're between the ages of 8 and 13. Mario is the oldest. Maite is the youngest. All of those kids have my heart. I wish I could give them a hug right now. Poor Mama Perez. She's been through so much the last few years. She's had her own health issues, and she lost her live-in boyfriend that was here in Los Angeles to cancer. And, she's had to uproot multiple times and move, go where he goes. I mean, he's like their whole world. And now he's in a hospital, probably in a psych ward. Hopefully he's not like, strapped down but it's not good. Yeah. The fact that he's alive right now, that's the best we can say, is that he didn't pass away during all of this. And thank you to law enforcement and the first responders for knowing to recognize what was going on and not taking him out. Let me go back. Oh, hi, Josie. Thank you for coming, and thank you for subbing. I'm sorry if you're having to come in on a live in a very kind of a depressing situation, but usually we're pretty up here with, the Nancy Guthrie videos and the Jackie videos, and I have a whole list of videos. I have something for everybody here. But it is what it is. Connie, we have the same thing here in Minnesota. You mean like 5150 hold or the Baker Act hold? Josie says, I watch Perez. I hate all this has happened. Me too, Like I said, we haven't met face to face, but we have gone live together, maybe 3 or 4 times on his social media, on Facebook, Instagram. And it went so well that and it wasn't planned. It just happened. And then we started doing it every week. And he's like, hey, we should do this every week. Same time, like same time, same bat channel, like, and I was like, because I just had too much on my plate. But I've always been in his corner. He always writes me back on messages and stuff. Like, he knows who I am. I know who he is. We just never met face to face. Like I said, we were also, even though I'm not an actor, we were in the same pilot together, Tori and Dean, in Love. And I do need to get a new, either a DVD player or a cord for the porta DVD players that I have, because I have 2 porta DVD players, both with missing cords. And my main DVD player that was in my living room with my television, a couple years ago, my current Rabbit, that was one of the cords that she took out, and it wasn't replaceable. So I'm just dying to see that. I want to see that pilot again, because I have a copy of it. I'd like to see that pilot again and just, remember the better times. Lemon says he did more than out people. He contributed to people losing their careers and their families. I believe in karma. I didn't really know who he was when he was that person. And there's a lot of people I've seen online that are like saying that, but people can change, and he seems to have been a good man, at least since he's had his children. And, if he was still like that, I wouldn't have any heart for him, just because I'm a decent human being. But I feel very sorry for his kids and his family. There's going to be custodial issues that are going to come up. He is in the process of selling his house in Las Vegas. There's going to have to be a conservator appointed, I'm sure, from a legal standpoint, because, he's not in a condition where he'd be able to like sign paperwork at the moment. Kathy says, I watched Perez. He has changed a lot since he was ill. Yes. And you know what? I didn't say anything to my audience because we never talked about it. But when he made that very sudden announcement about he's just picking up and going to Miami, like in a matter of days, there was something off about it. And I knew that Miami held a lot of bad karma for him, or bad energy, bad vibes. His mom was, ecstatic because her whole family's there. She comes from a large family. I think her parents had lots of, siblings. So there's lots of aunts and uncles and cousins and nephews and nieces. And there's all kinds of people there on his mom's side. But I was shocked. And he wasn't himself. And I thought, I don't know if he should go right now. Maybe he should just stay put where he's near his doctors and his hospital. And, he didn't seem well. And, oh my God. I don't know what threw him over the edge, but, it happens. Pine Mountain Club. Hope he heals without. He might finish the job next time and take others with him. It was that serious, yeah. Dale Hudson said, your son's girlfriend died from sepsis. Oh, what a terrible way. I'm sorry to hear that. He will get through this. It's going to make it, Roxanne Ruck says. Bonnie says it's a sad situation all the way around. Yeah, I mean, like, his career is probably, like, could be over, I hope not. But, how do you recover from something like that? And, just from a physical standpoint, he's going to be covered in wounds and scars for the rest of his life. Prayers for Perez Hilton, his children, and his family. Thank you, Connie. Thank you for always being so supportive on my channel. Grace Hernandez says, it's a question. Sepsis makes you go crazy. I did learn last night that there's something called sepsis psychosis, and that he may have been cognitively affected by that. But, I'm not a doctor. I'm not treating him. I'm just reporting the news. Natasha, thank you to the live stream participants for calling it in. Yes, bless their souls. I wonder how they knew, like, where he lived. The Hollywood Hills look small. They're not. Yes, it's basically a 72-hour hold, not including weekends. Yeah, but I've seen a lot of stalker cases where it gets extended way beyond the 72 hours. there's no way they're going to be able to release him in 72 hours. You just don't recover from something like that. This is going to affect him for the rest of his life, probably, and his family. That's what's so sad about it. Like, can he ever recover from this? Josie, I was on TikTok when Perez video came up. It was awful and scary and heartbreaking all at the same time. You know, Josie, I am so sorry you had to see it. I didn't see it, but I did see about a 30-second clip last night, and that's why I'm coming on here today. I came on last night before I saw that, and then I deleted that video. Then I tried to come on earlier today, but nobody was coming in, and I thought maybe I'm too early, and then maybe I should just scrap it altogether out of respect for Perez. But then it was like, if I could make this video, and no matter who trolls me or no matter who thinks that I shouldn't be making this video, if just one person, even somebody that's watching me right this moment while I'm talking to you, and I tell you, that gold thing drives me crazy. Hold on, let me just fix it so it'll stop blinking at me on my screen. If I can help one person, just one person, I hope I can help a lot more than one person, but if I can help just one and tell you, do not watch any of the clips, even the ones that are, apparently there's some that are blurred out, just don't go down that road. Don't put yourself through that. And you can listen to, you don't have to listen to me. You can go to the bigger YouTubers, the bigger vloggers, bloggers, whatever they are, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and they'll all tell you the same thing. Don't watch it. Grace Hernandez, I'm glad he's alive. Me too. After what I've been through, I need to connect to others' pain. Yes, I understand that, Hubble One. Josie says I don't recommend anyone watch it. Yeah, I saw maybe 30 seconds, if that, and it was too much. And I'm a strong person, but I've been through so much the last few years, and that should have made me stronger, but I think it's made me more emotional. I think after you've been through what I've been through health-wise with the cancer and the heart problems and all the side effects of the medication and the surgeries, it's softened me. Grace Hernandez says, heck no, I never came across it. Yeah, don't look for it. I hope all of the social media platforms that are airing it will take it down. Anybody who shows that should get demonetized. That there's going to be a lot of conversations that are going to come up about this. And, like I said, I mentioned earlier about him being in the LGBTQ plus community and how apparently he was a real troll to his own community back in the day and outed a lot of people and did a lot of things that now people are saying, see, karma is going to bite you in the ass, Perez. But that's not the man that I know. But I was very surprised from that perspective when he said he was going back to Miami. Because, if you listen to entertainment news and you follow a lot of different celebrities that have either lived in Florida or currently live in Florida, especially members of his own community, apparently Florida has some really strange laws regarding those issues. I don't follow all that, I mean, I do have a niece in that community, but apparently in the state of Florida, if you want to adopt a child and you're in that community, even if you're married, to a partner, you're not allowed by law. At least that's what the law was. I don't know if it's changed, but this came up a few years ago with Rosie O'Donnell. She ended up selling her house apparently in Sarasota, and she left because her and her then wife, they were taking care of a foster child that had I think she had some issues, this child, and she was a child that probably nobody would have wanted to adopt, and they were willing to take her and adopt her, and they weren't allowed to do so because of the laws. And him being a very out gay man. Um, I am and a gay man that has had bio children with the help of an egg donor and surrogacy, even though it's not the same as adoption. I think if he was supportive of his own community, he would be a little upset that Florida has such a ridiculous law. I mean, I'm not in that community, and it upsets me that Florida has that law. That now hopefully it has changed or it will change. But I was like, what's going on with him when he was like, we're going home to Miami? And he always talks about how miserable his life was in Miami. And it's very triggering for him, Miami. But that's where he lost his father. That's where he spent his youth, hiding as a gay man. Miami's really messed with that guy's mind. And he hadn't even been back, probably not even 2 months. And all of this happened. Like I said, I knew before he left Las Vegas something appeared to be wrong. And I didn't see those signs or symptoms until after he had the sepsis and the blood clot issue. I have things falling over on my desk right now. That's why I looked away. Hobble one says, sadly, outing is part of a gay culture. I wasn't aware of that. Places like Florida are okay with lesbians, but shun gay men. Don't know anything about that. Connie says, mental illness can truly take a hold of your thoughts and you lose control. He is in a safe place now, and there are many things that they can do to help him with his thoughts. Thank you for posting that, Connie. Debbie Myers, welcome in. Good evening, April. Thank you for sharing and grateful. Yeah, I just don't want anybody to see what I saw last night. And I wasn't watching TikTok. But after I did my live late last night that I ended up deleting, immediately, I just went off the air and went, delete. I was just so upset. I just deleted it. And I didn't need to. And then I felt bad, and I was like, I have to look. Even if it's just for 2 seconds, I need to look. And it was like watching a train wreck or a plane crash. It was just like, I've seen a lot of bad things, especially as a PI. I've seen so many bad things in my life. And I thought I could take it. I could handle it. Apparently not, because let me just hydrate. I don't want to let my own health go while I'm worried about, somebody else that's in a hospital 3,000 miles from me. But there has not been an update today other than a statement from his family, Josie. And I read that earlier on the live. In fact, if you want, I'll read it one more time. This is from his family. Many of you have reached out with concern for Perez, and we are incredibly grateful for the overwhelming outpouring of love, support, and prayers. We can confirm that Perez is receiving medical care, and our family's focus right now is on his well-being. We kindly ask that you respect Perez's privacy as well as the privacy of his family during this difficult time. If and when we are able to share any updates, we will do so with everyone as soon as we can. Thank you for your compassion, understanding, and continued support. The Perez Hilton team and family. Hubble one says he's straight, but have had gay friends in California as part of the landscape. Yeah. Let's see. Who have I missed? Oh, I saw Debbie. Okay. Hey, Sue Brock-Schmidt. Welcome in. Hubble one said you never heard of him until last night. Oh my gosh. That's surprising. I'm so surprised. It's about the kids now. Yeah, I mean, I'm supportive of him and I'm supportive of the kids, but I do have to think about the children's safety. His safety, his own safety. I don't think this is something that's just, by the end of the week going to be like, okay, it happened, it's done, and let's move on. No. This is going to be a lifelong negative situation. Those poor kids, my heart just like, oh my God, I'm going to try not to cry here. I love those children. I love those kids. I've seen them since birth, on his social media, and then to be able to talk to him in person online, after everything I've been through. And uh and of course, now that I'm doing my live, my AC has decided to kick into eco mode. So hold on. Well, come on, camera. Yeah, it's not working. I'm trying to put this in reverse. We're not working. It's not working on my end. So hold on. I can't get it to switch. I don't know what you guys are saying. Okay, let me just point it up. I'm really hating the power company right now. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to switch the screen and it's not working, Pauline. Oh, hey, Careless Whispers. Hey, I saw your post today. I haven't had a chance to write you yet because so much is going on here. And I'm very sorry that I'm not going to say it, because I know it's private information, but I've been through it. It's hard. And I just, I'm sending you a hug, my friend. Lisa says the Hollywood sign. Yeah, that's my green screen. And I actually live like right over the hill this way. But my love is with you, Careless. I've just been kind of thrown off by this thing that happened with Perez. And, I'm not one of those people that's going to be saying, oh, it's his karma and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not that petty. I try to be a good human, and, he's been a changed man, and he's had these serious physical health issues that I think have affected his mind, and something's not okay, and it all came to a head last night. There was an incident, Lisa, in a neighborhood in Miami where Perez Hilton had a psychotic breakdown, and it was bad. And luckily, the mom and the kids weren't there, and he's lucky to be alive. And if you just came in, just take my advice if you can. And the TikTok video was taken down, but don't research the internet for clips because you don't want to see what I had to see last night for a few minutes. Just don't. I mean, you can see it with a cell phone, but don't do it. Don't go there. It's. I hope I can just block it out of my mind. I'm just trying to think about his mom right now and the kids. You watched the whole thing. Oh my God, Careless, I'm sorry. I was working on YouTube, and one of my channel members actually sent me, I'm not going to say who she is, but she lives in Miami, and she said she was coming home from the store, and there was all these police and fire trucks, and I guess the SWAT team. It was bad, and she didn't know what was going on, and somebody said, oh, it's Perez Hilton, and she said, he probably didn't even know he lived in Miami till you mentioned something a few months ago, if it was even that long. Oh, sometime in June, I probably mentioned it. And she was writing me, but I didn't see her message right away. And it's a good thing I didn't see her message right away because it was still an active, like a hostage type situation, even though he didn't have a hostage. But that's how they were treating it, like a barricaded person. Good thing I didn't see that message. By the time the notification started popping up on my phone, it had already been resolved as far as them being able to get to him and bring him to a hospital. But I guess he was possibly near death. Let's just say there was a lot of blood loss. Yeah, let's not talk about that, Christina. Maybe he had a plan as family was not home. That was the first thing I said in my video last night that I've since taken down. Where was his family? It's a weeknight. Shouldn't the kids be starting school like soon or this week? Like, where was Mama Perez and where were the kids? And then there was this internet rumor that started last night saying that something had happened the day before in Miami and that he had his children taken away from him or something. I mean, I hadn't heard anything like that. Uh, I don't even know if that rumor is true, but something happened, and something must have been going on, because where was his mom and where were the kids? Like, I just don't. What is so funny? Uh, we're taking you out, Christine. Goodbye. See you tomorrow. Um, uh, it's a terrible situation. Yeah, some nurse came on, a registered nurse apparently came on to some other YouTube channel and called in. They were having, like, call-in chats, and she was saying that as a nurse there is something called sepsis psychosis, and most people here that do follow Perez regularly, you could tell you that he hadn't been the same since all that happened. He kind of seemed like he was going off the deep end, and I suspected something wasn't right when he made that big announcement about very quickly leaving Las Vegas to Miami. I mean, I can understand the leaving Las Vegas part, because I don't know how he survived it there for 3 years after living in New York and LA, just because of the weather. But I guess he grew up in a hot, humid Miami, so it didn't bother him at all. But Careless Whisper says sepsis psychosis is a real thing. Yeah, that happened earlier in the year, like in the spring, that all that happened, like March, April. But it's like August, and now something terrible has happened. So prayers for you, Perez. Prayers for the kids. Prayers for Mama Perez. Prayers for Barbara. Hopefully she's on her way to Miami today, I hope. That family, they've lost all their income in one day. They've lost everything in a day. Now the positive is that he survived. His life was saved. He's in the right place he needs to be, in a hospital, and he can get the mental health help that he so badly needs. Kelsa says, gosh, I feel so terrible for his kids and family. Yeah, me too. And the only reason I decided to come back on the air and redo the video that I started last night was to tell everybody, like, if you haven't seen the clips yet that were taken from the TikTok video that's since been taken down, if you have not seen the clips, you should not watch them. Well, Lisa, he is the sole income provider, and he's not okay. I don't know if he will recover. He is the only source of income. They don't have a mom, okay, that's in their lives. It's just him, and he's in a mental ward somewhere, in a mental facility. His entire body covered in wounds. They don't have any parents today, right now. Careless says, do not watch them. Pauline says she was right on the verge of sepsis and couldn't think straight. Yeah, I couldn't think straight the night before I ended up in the hospital with my AFib attack, because I wasn't getting enough oxygen to my brain. I was trying to make a box of macaroni and cheese, and I couldn't do it, and I was like, there's something effing wrong with me, like my mind is not working. And by the next day, I was almost dead. So I hope so, Kelsers, but the clips are getting out. They're spreading. It's just awful. Yeah, Hobble One, I don't know if he's going to recover, Hello, Respect Importance. Careless says, I think his mom will get emergency custody for his children, though. She will be the next of kin since they were born via surrogate. Yeah, actually, they were born via 3 different surrogates, and then there's a single egg donor who provided the egg for each pregnancy. Hello, beautiful. It all started from a UTI. Yeah, UTI can kill you. I heard that. See, I hadn't seen that because I've been so busy with my own YouTube But I've been seeing like some of his clips where he takes the kids out, like on the weekends or whatever, like, oh, we're going to this new place in Miami. We're bringing the kids. And, he seemed okay. But Kathy says, I guess he was selling Jesus shirts because he has a lot of hospital bills. He was upset about that. Yes, but he has a $1.5 million home in Las Vegas as well. That's on the market. And millions of views on his website. Now, he no longer has a TikTok, and he had just got that back at some point, too, so he'll never have that again. There's a million views or a million followers right there that are just gone. But he's in no condition to even having to think about that. We don't know if he's going to physically and mentally recover from this. All we know is that he's in a hospital, that he's still alive, but that's all we know. Lisa Thomas says my heart attack was when I was making mac and cheese. I hardly ever eat it, and I literally couldn't boil water. And I was like, whoa, and hopefully I don't have any, permanent damage from when that happened, I had a bad feeling. I had a very bad feeling when he announced this Miami move. Like, I just didn't feel right about it. Thank you for putting up the custom channel emojis, my pips. Respect, importance, and Kelsers. I appreciate all my pips, my PI posse. Now, on a more positive note, if you'd like to go see more uplifting video, go to my video tab and see the latest Jackie video. I did do an update on Jackie, the Big Bear Bald Eagle today. You'll have to go see that video. And the video that was filmed on, was it the 29th? So that probably doesn't even qualify anymore. But the one that was the second to the most recent one, it has also made YouTube's top 100 hype video list. So as of last night, I had actual 2 YouTube videos that were on the hype 100 list. And it doesn't help for income, but it helps like the algorithm. So now I have the new one out. Go hype that one, or the one before. Just throw your hypes at that, because it is making YouTube boost it. And that's where I'm getting most of my views, is even more than my subscribers or my regular viewers. I'm getting the most views from the YouTube boost that they did. So I really appreciate that, because that's going to help me pay my channel bills. Because, yeah, this has been a costly venture over the last 5 years and almost 8 months now. Oh, my God. So thank you. Welcome, Jason. Didn't see you come in. Let's hope you plan wisely with his finances and his mom has power of attorney to help out. Yeah, he's going to need a conservator. Maybe Barbara can do that for him. Yeah. Everybody, thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, if one person sees this video and they just take my advice, don't go watch any of those clips of what happened last night in Miami. It's just, you don't want to see it, because you'll never be able to get it out of your mind. I wish I had taken my own advice and not watched what I saw. Everybody, thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting my YouTube channel.